I can't believe they actually did this, but IK Multimedia changed the game yet again with the brand new TONEX ONE Pedal. Seriously, I did not see this coming, but I think that this concept is really cool. Look at how tiny it is! Before I talk to you about all that this pedal can do, let's take a listen to how it sounds. Check it out. Great! So this pedal can sound however you want it, as with the regular TONEX pedal. So that was my Gibson Les Paul Custom into the TONEX ONE Pedal, switching between two different amp tones and into my DAW. And I used two tone models from my Heavy Legends packs, which are available on ToneNet, by the way. The tone in the first and final sections of that song was a tone model based on my Mesa Boogie dual rectifier on the red channel on the modern mode. And then in the middle section, I switched to a tone model that was based on the Peavey 6505 for a more mid-rangey tone. So if you want access to those tone models and more, definitely check out my Heavy Legends packs on ToneNet. Now for the presets inside the actual pedal, I did enable the noise gate as well as some very subtle room reverb, and I added an OwnHammer cabinet in the cabinet section, which is the 412 Rect Essentials with the high gain mic mix. And yeah, all the tones came from this little pedal, and it sounds like my big tube amplifier heads. It's insane. My mind is blown. So let's talk about this pedal and what it can do. And this thing can do more than meets the eye. And the funny thing is, I didn't expect IK Multimedia to go smaller. I expected them to go bigger and to compete with devices like the Fractal FM9, the Neural DSP Quad Cortex, and the Helix. And I still hope to see something like that from them in the future. But I was pleasantly surprised to see them go smaller, much smaller. In fact, this pedal is so tiny. Look at the size difference between this one, the TONEX ONE, and the regular TONEX pedal. You could fit like 8 of these inside of this thing or so. It's crazy. And in terms of the sound and feel and stuff, there are no compromises. This gives you the full TONEX experience, just in a much smaller package. Obviously, it has less controls on the user interface than the bigger pedal, but it can still do a whole lot. More on that in a second. But yeah, just imagine having this pedal or multiple of these pedals on your pedal board and still having a very compact pedal board. Really cool. Because this thing can hold up to 20 tone models or 20 presets. And the pedal can basically function as your 2-channel amplifier or as a simple bypassable stomp box. Okay, so let's take a look at the user interface, the controls, and everything that you can do with this pedal. Firstly, with the newly updated librarian function in the TONEX app, you can load all of your presets and tone models into the pedal with great ease. And as you can see at the top of the screen, there are basically 2 modes. One mode lets you choose between 2 selected presets by pressing the foot switch. So that's kind of like having a custom 2-channel amplifier at your feet. And the other mode, so the stomp mode, lets you select 1 tone model and then you can bypass that model with the foot switch. So that's very handy, for example, if you're modeling your drive pedals or if you want to add some overdrive or distortion to your clean channel. Anyway, so loading the presets into the pedal is very easy. Just drag them into the pedal and there you go. Now the 3 controls on top of the pedal here, they can have any color you want basically, so that's nice. So you can assign a color to each preset, which will come in handy when you're browsing through the different presets on the pedal itself. And it's also just fun that you can customize the look of this pedal, so that's cool. So on the top of the pedal itself, we have these 3 controls over here, which are basically your bass, mid, and treble controls. The alternative functions of these controls would be the gate threshold, compression, and reverb. Now by default, the big control over here in the middle is your volume for the preset, but the alternative control would be the gain. And of course you can switch between the normal controls or the alternative controls with the little alt control over here. And as I mentioned, the foot switch can act either as your AB foot switch when you're in the dual mode, or as the stomp switch to bypass the pedal completely. And you can even access a tuner by holding down the button, so that's crazy, and the tuner is good too. And to change the mode, we have to go into the global setup mode, which you can access by holding down the alt switch for 6 seconds, and you'll see the colors change when that happens. To set the pedal to the dual mode, just turn the bass control all the way counterclockwise. To set it to the stomp mode, turn the bass control all the way clockwise. And the light underneath the control will change colors to indicate the change. You can also globally turn the cabinets on or off, which is a very cool feature as well. Turn the mid control all the way counterclockwise to have the cabinets on for all the presets, and turn it clockwise to bypass the cabinets completely on the entire pedal. You can also dial in the input trim for the pedal with the treble control in the global setup. Just plug in your guitar, strum really hard, and make sure that it lights up a solid green. If it lights up red, your level is too hot, so turn down the control until it doesn't get red anymore when you strum really hard. And again, bright green would be a good level. And when you're in the global setup mode, the big control over here acts as your global volume for the entire pedal. Now, of course, since this pedal houses 20 presets, you want to be able to browse between them. And you can do that with the browse mode. Enter that by pressing the foot switch and the alt control at the same time. And while in browsing mode, use the bass and mid controls to choose the 2 presets for the dual mode and the treble control for the preset in the stomp mode. And this is where the colors that you've chosen for the presets will come in handy. Because when you change the presets on the knobs, the color will change, indicating the preset change as well. Now this pedal also has a safe mode, and when you enter the safe mode, the controls basically do nothing, which can be convenient for live performances. And to enter the safe mode, just hold the alt control for 3 seconds. And to leave the safe mode, do the same thing. You can even change modes of the tuner, so you can have it to mute or to through, and to access that, turn on the tuner first, and then press the alt switch. So these are the basic functions that the TONEX ONE pedal has to offer, and I'm impressed. I really am. As far as I know, this is the first ever pedal of this size that is able to house captures, tone models, or profiles, however you want to call it. And I don't know how they pulled it off, but they did it, and it's very impressive. So I expect these to fly off the shelves. I think these will be very popular indeed. Thanks to IK Multimedia for sponsoring this video. I really appreciate it. But as always, all thoughts and opinions in this video are 100% my own. That's all for this video. I hope you enjoyed it and that you found it useful. Let me know your thoughts about the TONEX ONE pedal in the comments down below, because I'd love to know. Also, please hit the like and subscribe buttons down below, as that really helps the channel out. I'd usually appreciate that. And you can also follow Sonic Drive Studio on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.